Hey guys, it's Joshua and Eli here from This Is Podcast, a show where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want, and nobody cares.
Today we have another episode of a new series dubbed This Is Firearms.
Hey guys, hope you're having a beautiful day and welcome back. This is kind of part two of two gun videos we did. We recently went out shooting, and last time we talked about your Ruger 1022, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And today we are talking about my Mosin Nagant M9130. So, I'm gonna kick it over to you because you shot your 1022 and then you shot this.
Yep.
So, and your reaction was pretty awesome. I'm sure we're gonna have a video here somewhere.
Yeah.
So, tell us.
It definitely has a lot more kick than a 22.
It carries a 7.62 by 54R round.
Yep.
And it's a pretty good kick.
It definitely is. I made the mistake at one point of not putting my ear protection.
Yeah.
And if you've ever shot a firearm like this, or maybe something even stronger, I was standing at one point about 3 or 4 yards away from you, and you shot it, and I felt you can feel the energy, kind of the breaking of the sound barrier just hitting you as you shoot it. Just whoom, your whole body. I was sitting quite a bit, as I said, quite a distance away, enough that you weren't expected to feel that. It was definitely a blast to shoot, though. Always wear protection unless you absolutely can't.
Well, you can't even imagine. You did it one time without ear protection. And the thing is, this is a battle rifle. This was the standard Russian battle rifle from World War I into
The 50s.
Well, really, after post World War II, we get the SKS, and then of course the AK-47.
Yeah, which takes over.
But it's called the M9130 because this design was 1891, right?
Well, and
then there was a reworked design in 1930, so M9130. So this served from 1891 to probably 1947, somewhere in there, right? I could not even imagine being in a battle line of people.
All shooting those.
All shooting these, all around you. So you have Nagants here and here, and everybody just firing off rounds. You did it one time without your earplugs, and you felt that, you could feel that energy.
Well, not just the energy. Without the earbuds, I was talking about shooting it. I was the one holding it, firing it.
Yeah, I was out the earbuds, and when you were standing on the side,
I was wearing earbuds sitting 12 feet away, and my whole body went whoa a few times. Not that drastically, but you could feel the whole little push every time you shot it. But the one when I wasn't wearing earbuds, I mean, this is where my ear was.
Right.
So although it wasn't as bad as shooting a 12 gauge to me. The one time I tried shooting a 12 gauge without ear protection, my earbuds for probably 24 hours. I had a good headache. Come on, this one gave me a small headache in the back of my head.
How do you think about the kick compared to a 12 gauge? Because I've heard it often compared to the kick of a 12 gauge.
The kick is right around the same to me. But it's not, as I said, but the actual sound wasn't as bad. Maybe it's just a lot of the sound comes from here. Although the popcorn's there, a lot of the sound also comes from here as it exits the.
I also think it's similar to a 30-06, and I shot a lot of 30-06 when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I think it's comparable to a 30-06. Now the thing is when I bought this gun, I actually ended up buying it from a friend. And he was like, you need to be careful, the kick is intense. And he's like, I'll knock you on your butt if you're not ready for it. And so I get up there, I'm actually a little bit nervous about it. I go, doom. I'm like, oh, that was it?
That was it.
I'm a big guy, so I absorb the kick pretty well. And the kick does not bother me in the least. For somebody with a smaller frame, or somebody who's a little bonier than I am, because I got some padding.
Yeah, sure.
I absorb it better, and it just doesn't bother me. So this is the M9130 variant of the Mosin Nagants. Now, what's interesting is in Russia they were never called Mosin Nagants; they were just called Nagants. They did take elements from Mosin's Mosin's design, but he actually don't think he had the legal rights.
We just call them that because we can.
And that's more of a west outside Russia thing. We call them Mosin Nagants.
Yeah.
Something else very interesting. When I bought this gun, I was told, he was like, he's like, you need to be careful. You need to store this properly. There's no safety on this gun. He said, he's like, they were pushing
In Soviet Russia, we don't need safety.
No need safety. So I was like, oh boy,
strange.
And I was like, oh boy, that's a downside. Well, after a little research, there is indeed a safety on this gun.
It's a bitch to use.
It's a bitch to use. So back here on the back side of the bolt, if you pull, and actually, before we do
get it from
that
angle there. Good job.
Well, real quickly, we do not have.
Yeah, we already checked the chamber. We do that before the.
You pull this back.
You probably have to lift it up.
Yeah.
There's nobody standing over
and
either.
Twist to the left, and it does act as a safety. So I'm not gonna pull the trigger, obviously, because that would be stupid.
It's very not intuitive, though.
It's not very intuitive, and the thing was that the reason that myth proliferated is because Russians didn't use it. Because if you didn't have gloves, your hands were so damn cold you couldn't feel anything anyway. You wouldn't do this. And if you did have gloves, the gloves were too bulky to get your fingers in there to get it, and you wouldn't want to take your gloves off to do it. So you just didn't use it. So that's a little note about the safety. Mosin Nagants do have a safety, and I've seen actually a few YouTube videos out there that have claimed that the Mosin Nagant does not have a safety. So
we may make a short clip on that some time, just talking about that. So you also have some shells of what you do have.
I have now. These are Russian military surplus that I've been shooting. I got them off bulk ammo about 2 years ago.
They're going up in price if you can get them.
Yes, they are. They are going up in price. Mosins in general are going up in price, right? So this gun has garnered the nickname the garbage rod,
among others.
Among others, partly because they're cheap and people see them as cheap and disposable, and partly because they're not the best gun out there. I take that in context. They aren't the best gun out there. But they are a good gun. I think the problem is the Mosin has a following like the Katana. It's kind of one of those guns that has this huge following with these fanboys who cannot see the faults in the Mosin, who can't see that there are problems with it. I'm very pragmatic about my weapons. I see all my whether it's swords or guns or whatever, they are tools, and you need to be aware of each one's
use and safety.
That too, but you need to be aware of each one's strengths and weaknesses. And this does have weaknesses. The Nagant's notoriously hard to use.
It's incredibly heavy.
It's pretty damn heavy, but it's also indestructible. It's virtually indestructible, and that's one of the nice things about it. One of the things I don't like, and tell me what you think, but I don't really think the sights are very intuitive on it.
Well, something you had mentioned when I very first shot it, you kind of focus down here, because it's a hooded sight, but
you can't really see that on the camera there, so I'm gonna pull it up, and we'll get a shot from the front of the gun.
But yeah, it's the sight's right here. It's a hooded sight, but the other part of the sight's all the way back here. Usually, you'd expect it to be here or non-existent, but it's kind of in the middle. And because of that, and because of how low it sits on the gun,
it sits very low compared to the very front sight.
It doesn't really. You tend to just face up here and not pay attention to this at all.
And that's what what ends up happening for me a lot of times is I will go to shoot, and if I'm trying to snap off shots quickly, I will oftentimes bring the rifle up, and I'll be focused on that. I'll be trying to put that hood, that ring, on the target, and I'll forget about this rear sight.
The rear sight. It is the same rear sight that you can find on the. I don't know if they still do it, but it used to be on the AK-47, and it was on the SVD too, the Sniperskaya Vintovka Jaganova, the infamous Jaganov sniper rifle.
Right, which is loosely based on this design.
Yeah, they both kind of are. Yeah.
Despite its drawbacks, despite there are some issues with it, I don't really think of it as a garbage gun, a garbage rod.
Yeah.
I think it's a great gun. I think it's a great gun
It's
for
a hardy gun. It'll last forever.
it was a great gun for its time. It served through 2 of the biggest wars in history. One of the best snipers of all time, one of the top 5 snipers of all time, used this rifle.
I think it said that the most kills ever killed by the most kills ever made by one sniper was made on a Mosin Nagant unscoped. So
yeah, he killed I think 5, and we'll have his name down along the bottom here somewhere.
So like 500 people in 100 days.
Yeah, he killed like 500 people in 100 days. Go and research a little bit. It's a pretty cool story. And this was his gun. So
not this exact one, of course.
No, this wasn't. I didn't buy his gun. But
you do have a bayonet here,
right?
Which is original. It's not a remake, right?
No, it is an original bayonet. Now I don't know if I bought it separate from this gun.
Yeah.
So it's the likelihood of it being there's 23 million of these made.
Yeah.
So it's the likelihood of me getting the same bayonet for the same gun are astronomical.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You were talking about the other day. You had shot different kinds of rounds out, different companies and stuff like that. You have some more of the Russian surplus, but then there's a silver one. Which one?
That's Silver Bear.
Okay, that's Silver Bear. So yeah, there are different companies. You can buy modern renditions of the ammunition.
The Silver Bear is a modern rendition.
I know Tall Arms makes some. Various companies make but it is a round that's not commonly used.
Right.
It's 7.62 by 54. I think the Dragon Sniper Rifle also uses it, correct?
Yes, it is. It's the only modern gun that still uses it.
You can buy in the modern ammo. The modern main ammo is incredibly expensive.
It is pretty pricey.
And the surplus is less expensive, I should say, but it's rare right now. It's a little harder to find. Bulk ammo used to carry all the time. They don't have it right now.
Right.
So, among other companies that carry surplus ammunition, they don't have it because it's people running through it so fast.
Let's talk about the ammo real fast because I was told, any ammo that you get, any bulk ammo you get, you need to be careful because they said, one of the things about Nagant is the barrel corrodes very fast. The ammo is very dirty and it corrodes the barrel fast. And I took a little issue with that because I have not only heard that. I heard that the guy that I bought it from told me that, and then I've heard it throughout my research many times. There's so many YouTube videos out here like the barrel corrodes fast, the ammo is dirty, get this thing cleaned as soon as you shoot. And I have real issue with that from just being a realist and knowing a little bit of history. When a battle finishes, right, your first thing isn't, I gotta clean my gun. You're doing things like shoring up defenses, walking prisoners where they need to go, corralling your prisoners, tending to your wounded, resupplying, regrouping with your squad or with your, there are many things. Now I'm not saying they don't do it soon after a battle. I'm just saying it's not immediately after battle they start field stripping guns. You prepare for a counterattack.
Yeah.
So that's not your immediate go-to, which means that probably an hour or 2 hours after a battle, these probably weren't getting cleaned.
At least.
Yes, the ammo is dirty. Yes, the barrel will corrode fast, but
not like they say it will.
Not like they say it will. Does that mean if you're on the range that you shouldn't clean your gun after shooting? No, do it. That's just being a responsible gun owner. That's just being responsible with your tool, with your weapon. I'm not condoning not cleaning it. I'm not condoning, but I'm just saying if you're out in the field an hour away from home and you shoot, you can make it back home. You can make that hour trek back home before you, or that hour drive back home before you clean. That's what I'm saying. So, I get your thoughts on it. I mean,
it was definitely a fun gun to shoot. It's kind of expensive to shoot right now, but I like it a lot. The stripper clip doesn't work like you talked about.
Well, okay, so yeah. The stripper clip, the modern stripper clips, the modern rework, because the stripper clips I have are modern stripper clips, and they suck bad. The ones made in World War II probably work a little better, But there's actually plenty of stories of Russians abandoning the triple clips altogether just to load their hand load the shells. Which, truthfully, you can hand load the shells pretty quickly in this. If I shot this every day, if this was my livelihood, I probably would get pretty damn good at it, pretty quick at it. But it's actually quick enough to load that you really don't need the triple, especially if you're just shooting target. You can take the 5 extra seconds to snap in a few shells. So it is a hell of a lot of fun to shoot. I've thought about selling this gun twice, and every time I thought about selling it,
you go and shoot it.
I go and shoot it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is too much fun to sell.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty accurate too. I mean, we were shooting. You got 6 out of 10 shots on a target at 50 yards.
Well, that was rushing because that was at the end of our day. So at the end of our shooting, we had a huge storm clouds rolling over, and we're like, oh boy, I'm watching the storm clouds roll in, and we're like, okay, we gotta get these last. We had the camera out there. We were afraid it was going to storm and rain was getting on your camera, and so I rushed those shots, and I still got even with the rushing.
You also didn't want me to keep shooting.
Well, yeah, you kept we didn't. It was a little miscommunication. I thought we'd shoot 10 each and see how
it went.
Just see how it went. It wasn't a competition.
I didn't realize that, and I reloaded one of my mags with 5 rounds, and he's like, no, stop, stop. And he's sitting there trying to single load shoot.
Even rushing, I still got 6 out of 10 shots. Now my first shot, I had a nice tight grouping right in the target area, but I was going much slower. So it's not the most accurate gun out there. It's not the best gun out there.
Now you don't like it. You don't want to scope it ever. I
said that in the last episode in 10.2. I love iron sights. I find that it really helps me put my shots on target better than.
See, I like the iron sights, but I really like the scope. That's why I have a scope. And I said, if I ever got this from you, I hate to say it, but I want to put a scope on it.
On more modern gun, I might get a red dot or I might get a red. If I get a 10.22, I might consider putting a red dot or a hollow on it. Maybe even something kind of small, little scout scope or something. But for my everyday,
you hated when I had it on 9 times.
Yeah,
you could have changed it. And you didn't know.
Well, I did. I didn't know you had it 9 times, but I might put like a scout scope on 10.22. I probably won't do anything high powered.
Get a scout scope for this. The original scope on this was
the original scout was a PU scout scope.
Well, what are your final thoughts on it?
Well, it's like I said, it's just a hell of a lot of fun to shoot. It's not the best gun out there. It's not the most efficient gun out there. But it is a hell of a lot of fun to shoot. If you get one, you do have a piece of history. Something we didn't mention. Mine was made in 1942 in Izhmash.
Yeah.
Which is the Russian factory in Russia. There were some Nagants made in other places.
You can get a Finnish made.
A Finnish made, a Swedish made. You can get Nagants that were made here in the States.
Yeah.
There were some of them made here in Springfield. And then sent over.
Those are probably incredibly expensive.
But
if you can find one.
Mine's from 1942. Was from Izhmash, which means that there's a 99% chance that this came out of the factory and went straight to the front lines to support the troops out there. So there's a 99% chance that this saw battle. And if you get yourself a Nagant, you get yourself a little piece of history, and that's really, really cool. And so for its history, for its historic purposes, and just for its bang for your buck purposes, it's a hell of a lot of fun to shoot. I would definitely recommend anybody get a Nagant.
Yep.
It's just a lot of fun. It's a great gun. So, your final thoughts?
I might get one in the future. I'll put a scope on it. Or I'll get one with a scope. That's it. I think it's fun. But I might not get one just in the fact that if the ammo keeps going up in price or the availability keeps going down.
Right.
I think if I get a high powered rifle like this, I might get a Mossberg or something like that. But a cheaper, decent gun, a decent firearm of today. Mossberg 100 ATR or something like that. Mossberg Night Train. So that's about it, I think. Anything else from you?
That's it.
Okay.
You want to sign us out?
Yep. Well, until next time, I'm Eli.
I'm Joshua.
And this is Firearms.
Hey guys, I hope you liked today's episode. And if you did, go ahead and press that little like button below. Also comment if you've had any experiences at all with what we talked about. Also, go ahead and share it with your friends if you think they'll enjoy it. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and check out our new Instagram page at This Is Podcast. Well, I think it's time to go shoot some rounds off.